Welcome back to Journey's Prime. Now to the rest of our stories, but why will the mother be led to nearly kill her own daughter? And this report, Bona East correspondent Anna Sabit explores why many people misunderstand dual diagnosis of autism and Down syndrome and often brand children with the conditions as spirit children. To mark World Autism Day, we have this special report.
20-year-old Beatrice, also known as Mami B, is an autistic child, currently in primary 5. Just like any other child with autism spectrum disorders, Beatrice, since childhood, has been having difficulty with social interactions with others, unusual interest in objects, under or overreaction to one or more of the 5 senses, amongst others. Her mother, Mame Abna Mensah, shares with me some horrifying experiences she went through raising her 5th child. I was told I gave birth to a spiritual child. In fact, I went through a lot. My neighbors insulted me and accused me of being paid back for my bad deeds. Sometimes I question God for giving me this child, but I know this is a test from God. In her quest to find the right medication for Mami B's ailments, Abna Mansa met a man who promised to help her kill her own child with the belief that the child is a curse to the family. One man visited me and promised to help, and he said he'll take me to a man who will help me. He'll make me buy some items which will be mixed with some concoctions, and after giving it to the child, he'll sleep for a while and die in the process. Abna Mansa, a mother of 5, lost her husband 7 months ago. She's afraid that in her absence, her autistic child may have a gloomy future. As a result, she's currently poised to give her daughter some formal education. She tells me that parents of children with autism pass through a lot of trauma and deserve to be supported. Her father died 7 months ago. I may follow him soon. So I want authorities to support these children and their parents. In Ghana, for instance, autism is often compounded by cultural stigma. The causes in many cases attributed to the supernatural, and these attitudes prevent early diagnosis since help is often sought out from traditional or religious leaders rather than from a medical practitioner. Dr. Jacqueline Asibi, a senior specialist pediatrician at the Techiman Holy Family Hospital, shares with me some of the characteristics of autistic children.
Autism or autism spectrum disorder, that's its other name. Yes, it's a group of condition that is characterized by certain challenges and some of the challenges the children face are in respect to social skills. They have repetitive behaviors that they go through, and then they have problem with speech and non-verbal communication. At least around 1 year, if you call every child, it will respond. But this child, you see that persistently you call the name, he doesn't respond. And then they prefer not to be cuddled. They don't follow normal instructions. And then they do not look at somebody when you point to them. Autistic children will never point. If even you point to, they will never tend to look at.
Their management, according to Dr. Jacqueline, is difficult because they are special children who need special assistance.
Because some of them are hyperactive, and then the things I mentioned, they look odd other than the normal child. I think most of people shun away from them, or they tease them, or they think that they are not normal children. So the parents go through a lot. It's very difficult. And then with the hyperactivity, it's so difficult to manage them with that.
Whitney Hamil-Ani is the co-founder and director at Autism Compassion Africa, an NGO based in Cape Coast, providing services across Ghana and Nigeria. She joins us via Zoom. I'm grateful you joined us. Let me find out from you. A mother contemplates killing her own daughter because of autism and Down syndrome. Is this strange to you?
I wish I could say it's strange, but unfortunately it's not a story that I'm hearing for the first time. There's many stories that you hear from across the nation, not just, in rural areas, of families needing to resort to extreme measures due to lack of support, and also facing a lot of stigma from their own communities, family members, and even their religious leaders. So unfortunately, it's not a surprising story. It's a sad story. And I'm also really happy to hear that mother didn't go through with everything. So yeah, it's an important story to tell, though.
What are some of the stories that you've actually heard? You want to share some of the stories with us?
There's a handful out there. There is a documentary by the BBC that you can see on YouTube where they share about, it's titled "The Worst Place in the World to Be Disabled." And this woman actually visits an area, I believe in the Volta region, speaking with some fetish priests about how they terminate the life of children that they call, snakes or other terrible things like that. But what we want to make sure that people understand about autism and other special needs, that these are children, these are human beings just like you and I, and they deserve the chance to life, to education, to health, just like any other child out there.
Now, the country seems to have neglected autism. As someone who has interfaced with autism in Ghana, what do you think the country is doing wrong?
I think every country has a long way to go. And Ghana is one that is still starting to become aware of children with special needs. The difficulty is there's just not support out there for families, and then they resort to these extreme measures. So what the doctor was speaking about the different causes, like the different, what are the signs of autism, things like that, like awareness, right? Like we need to do a lot more to campaign for awareness, and also combating a lot of the stigmas that are out there. Once families are able to, avoid those stigmas from their communities, then they'll be able to reach out and get the support that they need. And even for those families who do reach out, there's not a lot of support available. The government doesn't necessarily provide inclusive education as much as we would like to see, especially outside of, the different regions' capitals. Once you get outside of those capitals, there usually aren't special needs schools available that are from the public. So it really limits the resources for families.
Let's talk about solutions to these challenges. What do you advise, or where do you suggest government of Ghana, for instance, starts from?
Well, one thing I was really excited about today is to see the new MP of Education sharing about World Autism Day, and I thought that was great, and he spoke about acceptance and inclusion. So I'm hoping that with this new MP, there's new opportunities to get that conversation started. You have many universities in Ghana that offer special education courses. So there's individuals out there that are trained in special education, but there are not special educators in most of the general education schools. If a child is diagnosed with autism, they most likely are not accepted in their public school, and they're sent to a special school that may not have all the resources and teachers that they need. And not every parent can send their child to a specific regional capital. For example, in Cape Coast, there's a special needs school there. But if someone's from Salt Pond, they can't be busing their child there every day. So could we look at there being one solution that I would like to see in the future is looking at actually creating inclusive education where you have special educators that are already trained. Why not get them in the public schools, have classrooms in the public schools, and include these students? Because otherwise, many of them are at home. And they're at home, then the parents may have to be at home with them, or you hear stories of children being locked up while the parents are away at work because it's their only option, right? So how about we make it a bit easier for families?
Whitney, what are your parting words for parents whose children are autistic and are so frustrated by the situation?
I think try to find your community. Try to find other parents who have been through this journey. There's quite a few amazing mothers of autistic individuals in Ghana who have started their own centers and advocate. Try to reach out to them, get the support you need, because it's tough. It's tough being a mother anyway, and then to be a mother of a child with special needs is an even another level, So find that support and take one day at a time.
I'm grateful for your time. Whitney Hamilani is the co-founder and